Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, and with me via Zoom, another guy on the beach. I'm delighted to be joined by the Romford Bull, Mr. Johnny Fisher. Johnny, good afternoon to you, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Faisal. I'm good, mate. Good to speak to you. It's lovely and hot out here. I'm enjoying it.
Are you trying to rub it in because you're sat on the beach and we're here sat in depressing, windy, rainy weather?
I've been here. My dad, it's been pouring down every day, so it's nice to be out here with a bit of the tanning oil on and just soaking it up while we're resting.
You know what? A lot of people would just think you're on a holiday, but I know what it's like being out there, especially during camp. And you seem to be working hard, so you deserve a bit of downtime.
My body's aching. We're all aching. We're training hard, so it's nice to have a bit of a rest in between two today.
How's it going out there? How is training camp going?
Oh, it's going really well. Learning off Billy Joe Saunders, obviously. We're all out here as a team. Me, Harvey Hall, James Hawley, Charlie Duffield's coming out. Steve Andrews is coming out, one of our assistants. So it's good. It's like being at home, but you've got a bit of sunshine with it as well. And you're learning off good boxers all the time as well.
You mentioned good boxers and obviously good trainers as well, such as Mark Tibbs. You know, how much have you learnt from Billy Joe Saunders and Mark Tibbs out there? We both know they're big faces in the sport. We also know Billy Joe Saunders, two-weight world champion. You know, he's achieved a lot in the sport. How much have you learnt from these guys out there?
Yeah, it's brilliant because Billy's like he gives us a lot of time and attention. So when we're training, he always takes time. When we're running as well, he'll tell us little stories and little tips on how we can do well as young boxers coming through. So he's always got good stories. He's an entertaining man as well, and we have a good laugh with him. So I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, Mark's a legend himself, and he's got loads of stuff to tell us. So learning off both of them two great minds can't go wrong.
Billy Joe Saunders, you know, a tremendous fighter. Again, you know, has achieved a lot in the sport. Two-weight world champion. He's got big fights ahead of him. You know, just sort of take yourself out of that training camp. How highly do you rate Billy Joe Saunders, and what more do you think he's got to achieve in the sport?
Speaking to him yesterday, and he's still really hungry for success. So he's in his prime now, and he's pushing for that sort of legacy, isn't he? So you've got the ones in his divisions, like Callum Smith, Canelo. He wants to be the king of all them, and I think he can definitely do it. He's got all the skills, he's got the attributes, and most important thing at the minute, he's got the desire to do it. And he seems really hungry, so I think he's going to be number one.
He gets a lot of stick, especially from, you know, the media, you know, the tabloids. You know, they really give him a bad name, and because I follow him a lot on social media, and I see some of the work he does, especially with charity and hospitals. And I know Billy Joe Saunders, you know, every time I've spoken to him, he's always given me his time, and he's got a really good heart. Why is it that you think the media only sort of, you know, give one side of Billy Joe? They don't show the other good side to him.
Because this is the thing, right? It's not just about boxers and people in the public domain, but if you think about everything with the media, bad news is what sells. You can see with the coronavirus and things like that, bad news is what catches people's attention. So if they want to paint people in a bad light, when I've met Billy, you wouldn't meet a nicer man. It's the same with, I met Cash Ali a few weeks ago and I was sparring up with Hughie Fury. If I'd never met him, I would have thought, because of what he'd done, I know we all know what he'd done was wrong to David Price, but if I'd never met him before, I would have thought, I want to stay away from him. But he's one of the nicest men I've ever met. So sometimes in the public domain, it's very easy to be painted in a certain way, even when you've done nothing wrong. So listen, Billy's done loads of charity work. He's a top man. He's a gentleman. He's been really nice to all of us when he doesn't have to be. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a great bloke.
Well said, Johnny. And like you just mentioned, you know, you've been sparring with Cash Ali, you know, as well with Hughie Fury as well. It's been such an exciting few months for yourself, signing with Matchroom, signing a deal with Sam Jones and SJAM Boxing. I have to start off. What was it that Sam Jones sold to you? Because I know Sam quite well. He's a character, you know, he's a lively character, and he's got a really good personality. What was the main reason that you signed with Sam Jones?
Listen, it wasn't about, Sam knew he didn't have to sell anything to me. Oh, they've got a great little stable of fighters. They don't have too many. And I knew from how he treated me when I first started sparring Joe Joyce and then moved to Vegas with him for a little bit of camp. And I knew them opportunities they gave me, they were being genuine. And I spoke to Adam Morley as well. And Sam's very good at his job, and so is Adam Morley. So, listen, it's a no-brainer for me to go with them. They treated me the best. And when we first started working together, sort of doing sparring, there was no fault of me turning professional with them. But it's just sort of organically happened, and I think that's the best thing that could have happened.
not only do you get a good management deal with, Sam Jones and Adam Raleigh, but you also get, another great promotional deal with Matchroom. A lot of
Yeah.
people will argue that the main stables are Matchroom. There's also Frank Warren and BT Sport as well. But again, working with Eddie Hearn, what's the plans with yourself in terms of going forward? And what was the main reason for you signing with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, well, so we all know Matchroom's the biggest platform out there in the UK. That's what it wants to be on the Sky Sports shows and everything. I met Eddie briefly a few weeks ago. I didn't know what to expect, but he's very normal, down to earth, and we sort of know what sort of path we've got to take. We understand. I've got a long road ahead of me. I've got lots to learn, but I'm in really good hands. And listen, the journey's going to be a good one. We know it's going to take a building process, and we're on the same page with that. And Sam's on it as well, and Mark, and we're all going to work together, and we'll get to where we get to. And I couldn't be doing it on a better platform than Matchroom.
It's just a journey we're looking forward to seeing. Of course, as I was just speaking to James, and this last year, it's been very difficult for the fighters that are up and coming to sort of, get on a platform or a show, to get a fight in because of obviously the whole coronavirus situation. When are we likely to see you make that pro debut?
I know the date. I've got it all confirmed. Eddie and Sam Jones. I can't say anything yet because they're going to wait to announce it in a week or so. So it's definitely by the end of the year, December. So I'm excited and really looking forward to showing off what I can do. I know I've got lots to learn, and it's going to be a hard road ahead. But what I've learned with Mark over these first few weeks is a massive improvement to how I was as an amateur. And it really helps having a proper trainer there with you, a world-class trainer. So it'll be exciting to see what I can do at the end of the year.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you out, a new face in British boxing. It's definitely exciting times.
Definitely.
What approach are you bringing? Because a lot of fighters will want to take their time. What's the case with you? I mean, how quickly do you want to, work your way up the rankings? I know obviously many fighters out there reckon they're ready to just jump straight into the deep end, but it is a sport that requires a lot of patience. What sort of route is it that you're looking to take?
Listen, I'm not one of those people to say that I'm better than what I am. I know I'm a baby in this sport. I've got so much to learn, so much to soak in. And for me, it's not about rushing. I'm a 21-year-old heavyweight who's had not that much experience. I've just sparred a few good people, and I've shown that I can handle it with the top guys out there. But for me, I know there's so much to work on, and there's no need for me to rush. I'll just take it every step as I can, soak it all in, get my experience up. And it's been a blessing for me, really, thinking like this, because then it takes a bit of pressure off of me. Listen, 2-3 months ago, I was working with my dad, selling meat out the back of the van, just finishing uni, not thinking I'd be anywhere, and now I'm here. So it's been a roller coaster already, and I'm not going to waste the opportunity because it's a chance of a lifetime. And if I jump into things too early, that's not going to be good for me. It's about me learning and progressing, and then when the time's right, I'll be there with the big boys.
It's a very exciting division, is the heavyweight division in terms of domestic-wise. You got a guy that's in your stable as well, Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, coming ahead in a couple of weeks' time. You've also got the fight between Usyk versus Chisora, but then you've got good fighters, other good British fighters such as Dillian White. You've even got Dave Allen, Tom Little as well. It's exciting as the heavyweight division in terms of British domestic-wise, but the one thing that people talk about is that big undisputed clash between both heavyweight champions, Tyson Fury and Andy Joshua. I'm pretty sure they're fighters that you look up to. That's a fight everybody wants to see. Now, from what you've seen while watching them in their career so far, when that fight does happen, what prediction do you give for that fight?
Listen, they're both elite, not just elite athletes, they're elite heavyweight boxers, so they're a different sort of breed of athlete. So you've got to have massive respect on both their names. And they both bring something different. For me, I think Tyson Fury is just that little bit better. He's a bit more of a skilled boxer. But Anthony Joshua, you can't knock what the man's done. How he's progressed from an Olympic champion to become a world champion. That's a feat everyone dreams of doing. So he's always going to be in with a chance. He's very strong, very powerful, and don't underestimate his skills either. But for me, Tyson Fury is the man, someone I've always looked up to, and I think he's got that skill set to beat anyone on the planet in a minute.
Definitely going to be a brilliant fight for me. Probably the biggest fight in my entire lifetime, and it's a fight that I'm looking forward to. I just want to get your thoughts on Deontay Wilder. You're at the early stages of your career. Deontay Wilder, former world champion, was you know, whatever you want to make of the second fight with Tyson Fury, you know, a lot of people said he was easily beaten. A lot of people said that if, you know, the true Deontay Wilder's, we've sort of seen the true Deontay Wilder when he goes in with a good opponent like Tyson Fury. There's been many rumors circulating around social media that, you know, he sort of shied away from a third fight with Tyson Fury, that he could be set to retire. What do you want to see next for Deontay Wilder? You know, where do you think his future lies in the heavyweight division?
Listen, Deontay Wilder's still a top 5, 6 heavyweight. He can still challenge for world titles. Former WBC champion. He drew first time and he lost convincingly the second time. But because you lose a fight, doesn't mean you're out of it, does it? At all. So when you think of Lennox Lewis, he lost to Oliver McCall, he lost to Hassan Rockman, didn't go chasing the rematch. So with Deontay Wilder, he's still a contender. He's got unbelievable power, probably one of the biggest punchers ever in history. So you could never write a man like that off. But just that night when he fought Tyson Fury, he got completely schooled and beat pillar to post. But it takes a lot to come back from that. But if he can, he's still a contender.
Well said, Johnny. Right, Johnny, before we bring the interview to an end, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, nothing. I just thank you for having me on, Faisal. Just shout out to my sponsors, MKA Recruit, the Steel Team, Oda Essex, the Rabbits, all helping me, and gimmegolf.co.uk. They've all helped me out, and they're really helping me at the beginning of my career because it's a hard sport, with boxing. But thank you very much for helping me.
Well said, Johnny, and appreciate you coming on. And like I just said to James before, next time we're in London, hopefully get a face-to-face interview with you. Good luck for that big fight in December. We'll be keeping an eye out to see who you're in the ring with, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on fight night. And thank you for your time, Johnny. We look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks very much, Faisal. Thanks for having me on. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
Bye.